I welcome all of you on behalf of Moksh Academy. Today, this is a very detailed session on the USMLE examinations and the pathway for PG medicine in America. In the next 1.5 hours, I will be navigating you through the entire journey. My name is Chirag. I am the COO online coaching at Moksh Academy, and I have been mentoring students, interns, PG physicians as well as consultants working in top-notch Indian medical colleges and hospitals for their residency and fellowship application for now more than 10 years. Okay, so whatever questions you have, whether it's to do with your MBBS, your USMLE examination, electives, letter of recommendations, research, interviews, everything. In the next 1.5 hours, you will have a clear roadmap with you of pros and cons, advantages and disadvantages of the entire process. Great. So let's begin the session. All right. So as you can see, of course, as I start the session, I would just want to congratulate one of our recent high scorers, Dr. Jay Singala. He started the journey with us almost a year ago and successfully, scored 244, which is well above the benchmark median average marks required to secure a residency position. So appreciate that. Now let's get introduced to the American healthcare system. All right, let us quickly get introduced to the American healthcare system. Okay, what exactly the American healthcare system is, why it is that American healthcare system is most aspirational and currently for medical education considered to be top notch in the world, and why do majority of Indian students who are aspiring to study abroad consider US as their only destination. So currently 22.7% of licensed doctors in America are IMGs. Okay, during this journey you will come up with lot of jargons, so please understand any of these which you are hearing. What does it mean? IMGs typically means international medical graduates. When you guys apply for your matches, you are international students for America. All right, so all of you are will be termed as international medical graduates. All right, so even in India, we do not have that many international doctors, in the Indian system. But in America, they are so much dependent, 22.7%, and this number is increasing. COVID has exposed the demand and requirement, all right? The number of IMGs are keeping on increasing year on year. 98% of IMGs speak two or more languages. This again comes an advantage. I will answer any question, Rushita. Yeah, I appreciate your questions. We'll talk. Don't worry. Before the end of the session, all the questions will be answered. Right? 62% are primary care physician. Okay, where do these IMGs work? 62% are frontline physicians, which is why in the COVID war, IMGs were so much, in the front line, and so much in demand because they are the kind of backbone for the primary healthcare system in America. I usually get questions from parents, what about, girl child or females? Do you recommend US as a safer option? Absolutely, yes. In fact, last 3 years ratio has been that we have more and more, female physicians getting matched compared to the male physicians. So as such, there is no gender parity or as such, but it's almost equal. So there is nothing of that worry, especially what happens in case of many Indian parents mind. About 1 in 3 IMGs for the South as share majority of IMGs practice. So 32% of them work in the South. That's your Texas and Florida and those states. 28% work in Northeast. That's your Chicago, New York, New Jersey, Philadelphia, that belt. 20% in the Midwest region. 17% in California and the Western Territories. All right. So it's an equal split up. A lot of time people say, oh, if I don't know anything in New York, I'm done. No, the IMGs are getting matched all across America. We need to discuss that in terms of how to take that approach. So, you just cannot depend on one or two states. Although maximum seats and positions are available in the New York or the New Jersey. All right. So there is no doubt about that. I always get questions, what after completing PG, what do IMGs do? So 33% of IMGs work in a hospital setting, 31% in a group practice, that is what we call in India as polyclinic, 20% as a solo or a single or a two-doctor clinic, while the rest work in managed cares like pediatric care, geriatric care, or in university academic settings. So there are a lot of them work in research or as academic professors. Mind you, lots and lots of your teachers, they are in touch with us, and while they are teaching in your med schools, they are parallelly preparing for USMLE so that they could do something in academics and research. Okay, so yes, there is a demand, and age is not a criteria in America. There are lots of top-notch consultants in big hospitals. They are studying with us. Now, 27% of international students working in America are from India. So we are the largest among all the countries, followed by students from med schools in Philippines, Pakistan, Syria, Nigeria, China, Lebanon, UK, Germany, Russia, and Ukraine. In fact, on the MOOCs platform as well, we have students studying from 10 different countries. Okay, so as such, the beauty of American system has been the complete training. Okay, the complete training in detail, and idea is to give you a complete perspective. All right, now most important point, I'm sure all of you have heard about USMLE. The fact that you've decided to attend this session, I am 100% sure you are aware of USMLE. So obvious question which comes in my mind, which I always ask in all these webinars. Okay, what according to you is a tuition fee to do post graduation in America per year? Do you pay 35 lakhs? Do you pay 50 lakhs? How much money do you pay? Like in India, if you want a private seat, you pay about 1.5 crores. All right. So what do you think is the tuition fee do you pay to do post graduation in America per year? Okay, not total. Per year, what do you think is the tuition fee which you pay? Okay, is it 35 lakhs? Is it 50 lakhs? Or is it zero? Or is it 1 crore? Poll, as you can see, and believe me, I do these sessions across India, and every medical college which I have visited prior to COVID, everybody knows, yes, they have heard about USMLE, but very basic question, that there is no tuition fee to do post graduation. USMLE is free of cost. This is something which many of you are not aware, and this was proved once again in this poll. Only 53% of you answered it correctly. What happens is, moment people hear about America, they feel, oh my God, expensive, money, cost. Reality is, Indian private medical colleges are the most expensive ones. American system is one of the top-notch healthcare systems, especially for post-graduation. It is the most rewarding career one can have. A resident or a student who is seeking knowledge there is trained via a complete CCC, comprehensive clinical assessment, done by ACGME. ACGME is Association of Accreditation Council of Graduate Medical Education. So this is the body which monitors and ensures the quality. So in America, whether you study in a private medical college or a government college or a community hospital, it does not matter. Everybody studies free of cost. You get salary from the hospital, and a single resident or fellow is supported by staff, supervisors, program directors, program mentors, So it's a very well-rounded development or an exposure which you can have, and which is why the demand. Okay, but obviously the questions which come among the students, what is the portion, what is the pathway, what is the procedure? So of course, let us compare and understand the procedures, right? So in India, the undergrad degree is termed as MBBS. In US, it is called as MD. Lot of Indian students who do not have, patience or do not have knowledge, or they usually search MD in US. Problem is they compare this with the MD, which is a PG degree in India. Okay, PG MD is different and American MD is different. American MD means undergraduation. So if you check for MD, you will find 3 crores, 4 crores as a tuition fee, because that's how their med school fees are. But for PG, there is no tuition fee, and PG programs are called as residency. In India, we call it MDMS. In America, they call it residency. The super specializations are called as DM or MCH. In America, those are called as fellowship programs. Okay. What about attempts? In India, you have multiple attempts for NEET. In America, in the USML, if you pass, your scores are locked for 7 years. You cannot reappear and improve your scores. Okay. If you fail, of course, there are 3 more attempts. Admission ratio for PG. In India, when 10 students apply, 1 gets a seat. In America, when 2 students apply, 1 gets a seat. So competition is not as high as what happens in India. Choice of specialty. In India, it is based on the NEET rank only. In America, before you apply, okay, you need to take a decision which program are you going to apply. Okay, what do you mean by a program? In America, you don't apply to a college. You apply to a program. Program, what does that mean? A program would mean a specialty plus hospital. So it will Mount Sinai, internal medicine and Mount Sinai. Okay. Program would mean a particular specialization which you need to take a pre-decision on. Okay, so decision maker in India is central HOD, your dean and everybody. In America, it is only the HOD of that department. In India, we call it HOD. In America, they call it program director. Okay, so decision making is done specialty wise. So within the same medical college, the decision might be different, requirements might be different for different specialization. Tuition fee. In India, for government, it is 3 to 5 lakhs. Private is 1 to 3 crores. In America, there is no tuition fee, as we discussed. Salary stipend in India during PG is around 50,000 average per month, average across India. Some have more, some have less. In America, it is 3 to 4 lakhs per month. This is the biggest advantage which one can have. I will discuss again Rajat. Rajat is asking, I don't understand the choice of specialty. See, choice of specialty means you have to pre-decide, like what happens in India, Rajat. Let me quickly show you by illustration, and then I come to other questions also. There are other questions also which are to this slide. So what happens in India, Rajat? You have a NEET score, okay? You just approach a hospital, and hospital will tell you based on the rank, okay, you will get into medicine, or you will get into surgery, or you will get into radiology, no, you will get into pediatrics, medicine. Okay, in America, you don't approach only to hospital. Before you apply, you need to decide which particular specialization you want to. You have to lock that particular specialization. So you cannot in the same college apply to medicine, surgery, radio, all the specializations. Why? Because you need to prove by entire CV. Because doing a PG is like doing a job. Admission is not just based on this. Yeah, a lot of people are asking about surgery. I will talk in detail. Alk Tiku, Prajay Giri, exact data. How many people got surgery this year? I will show you that as well. Don't worry. I get the tuition fee, but sir, what can be the average cost of everything? Ruchita, if you are asking cost of while you are in America, zero. And cost during the admission for the admission process, that I will share with you. So during this entire webinar, you'll also know the exact cost involved in the process. But once you are in the America, absolutely no fees whatsoever. Okay. Mohammed Tayyab is asking about CV. We will discuss much in detail about CV as well. Curriculum vitae. So Mohammed Tayyab and everyone, you know, one thing what I was discussing to understand that there is a handout section in your panel. Please open something called as USMLE brochure. Okay, I am clicking on that. I'm trying to open. If the net works well, I can show you here as well. But you guys can download that brochure with you. Okay, why? Because this will tell you the basic difference. Once you open that PDF file, I'm trying to open it for you here as well. What is the basic difference between admissions in India and America? In India, what happens is your admission happens only on the basis of one particular marks. That is your NEET, which is going to be replaced by next examination. But in America, admission happens on your college performance, medical school performance, USMLE, CV, and interviews. So all the factor together gives you success. Now, there are people who are asking, sir, if I'm not good in school, if I've got some drops, if I've got some bad marks, no problem. That is what USMLE is, beauty of USMLE. If you feel you are weak in one particular section, if you feel that you have not well in your med school, you still have chance. It is not like India, your doors are closed. If you say my med school is bad, you take your time, but ensure your USMLE is good, your CV is good, interview is good. Whoever applies for admission in America will have something negative. There are people who say, okay, sir, my USMLE scores have come low. No problem. Ensure that your med school are better, your CV is better, your interviews go well. So there is always a way to balance out profile, to decide on specialization, because every specialization is offered at a particular marks. So that is what we do at Moksha. We let you know how you get into the American system. There are expert mentoring, residency match guiding service. Everything is what we provide end to end. How to improve your CV, to work on the factors involved in CV, which we will discuss in detail. Don't worry about that. Okay. Yes, step one is becoming a pass or a fail from 2021, but that's only one step, my friend. We will discuss advantages and disadvantages. Can you enlist some colleges? It is not India that okay, you get into AIIMS only, then your career builds. Okay, let me tell you, for medicine there are more than 700 hospitals. Wherever you get admission, you get salaries. In surgery there are 342 hospitals. Wherever you get admission, you still get salary. So it is important to get into system, not to be about okay, if I get into AIIMS only, then I will take admission, because you are getting paid and the system is taken care by ACGME. Okay, so that support is always there. Is MSI membership compulsory for USMLE? Absolutely not, Rushita. It is a optional volunteer organization. If you do something with them, it might help you to build a profile, and that profile building helps you in CV. As such, MSCI is not compulsory. Okay, so don't worry about that. Specific questions on the application match, I will discuss. Don't worry. Year of graduation is later. No problem. We'll discuss that. There are lots of questions. Let's move ahead. Let us understand the medical licensing process in America. You know, you might be wondering, I do a lot of polls, but that gives effective. That gives you a clarity on how you have to take your career forward. Okay, you have some plans in place. What if I don't get PG in India? Okay, so your planning is very, very important. So what's your plan? Because this licensing process of America, will start immediately. Whether you are in first year, whether you are a student, whether you are a intern, graduate, your planning has to be very clear. American PG degrees are very much recognized in India. If you do a PG and come back and work in India, it is very much recognized. In fact, you can Google yourself and find out this information. Okay, you can Google yourself and you will actually identify and find out this entire journey of at least at least 20% of physicians who are at top-notch positions in private hospitals in India, who have done either their residency or fellowships from America. Perfect. So now let us understand a 4-step medical licensing process in America. This is important so that you can and you will understand the next steps. So stage 1, okay? The stage 1 in the process of licensing is ECFMG certification. ECFMG is Education Commission for Foreign Medical Graduates. So initially all the IMGs have a target to get this certificate. Okay, how will you get this certificate? By submitting your MBBS degree, and parallel to your MBBS, prepare and applying for step 1 CKCS. Once you pass all of these exams and your MBBS degree is submitted to this body ECFMG, you get this certificate. What is the significance of this certificate? That your degree here in India is equivalent to the degree in America, and you will be allowed for further admission of PG. Okay, so if somebody asks me what is the hard work or how much time required and how much money involved, so the time, money or hard work is in the stage 1. Maximum work has to be done here. If people start from first year, it will take good 5 to 6 years parallelly. If you start after graduation, you will take another 3 to 4 years. So if you want to save number of years, start early, because you can prepare and appear for step 1 in 3rd year. Okay, prepare and appear CKCS in internship year. Now, along with this, I told you, you need to prove which specialty you want to get admission into. So, a very important factor of admission is American Clinical Rotation, or USCE, or electives, whatever you call. In simple language, what it means, that if I want to do PG in medicine, I need to work for at least 2 to 3 months in American hospital in medicine to prove that I like that specialization, to get something called as letter of recommendation from those American doctors. This is a very important requirement for your admissions. As we told you at the start, CV is going to determine. So one of the important factor of CV is you doing clinical rotation and letter of recommendation from American doctor. In this entire process of USMLE, the total expenditure comes around 20 to 25 lakhs, out of which more than 50% expenditure is for this clinical rotation which happens in America, and the practical CS exam which happens in America. Okay, now many of people in the chat box are asking about anomalies. Now exceptions happen. Exception is right now that there is a COVID situation. So of course the CS exam has been temporarily suspended. So we cannot talk anything about that right now. The new version might be online, might be in person, we don't know. And clinical rotations right now are on hold. There are a lot of students who are getting fooled by a lot of people, and they are doing tele rotations, which is of no value. But as such, if you see the top-notch American hospital websites, everybody has suspended the clinical rotation for now. Stage 1 is where you do the hard work. You spend around 5 to 6 years parallel to your medical school, and you invest around 20 lakhs maximum. You don't have to pay to anybody as an individual, but this is the total expenditure which you will incur over 5 to 6 lakhs, 5 to 6 years. And what is the split of it? We will discuss, and you will come to know that also. Now, once you are getting all of these things done and you are ready for admissions, once you get admission, your PG in America is different duration years. Like medicine is a 3-year program, surgery is a 5-year program. Unlike India, the length of program is not same. Okay, if you are in, let's say you do medicine, you get paid for 3 years. If you do surgery, you get paid for all 5 years. But the length of program is not same. OBGYN 4 years, radio almost 5 years, family medicine 3 years, pediatrics 3 years, neuro 4. So the number of years vary depending on the specialization. Okay? So it is not like an Indian system where it is a standardized process. So coming back to my point, okay, at stage 2 level, the specializations vary between 3 to 5 years. Medicine is a 3-year program, surgery is a 5-year program. In case of medicine, you get paid for 3 years, surgery, you get paid for 5 years. Now, at the end of 3rd year, if you choose internal medicine, like in India, you have to appear a final exam, which is called as board examination. Okay. Once you pass that exam, there are 3 opportunities with you. Opportunity number 1, you can come back and practice in India. Your degree is very much recognized in India, just as an MD medicine doctor. No separate exam to be given. Opportunity number 2, you give your step 3 exam and start working in American job market. Now, you might be wondering where this step 3 came from. Now, step 3 is the 4th exam in the series. When you prepare for USMLE, step 1, CK, CS, and step 3. Usually, Indian students do not have patience. Step 3 can be given before residency, during residency, and after residency. Usually, Indian students give it before the residency itself. Only rule is 7-year rule, meaning whenever you appear your first USMLE exam, step 1, the series from step 1 to step 2 to step 3, all the 4 exams need to be given in the 7-year window itself. All right. Usually, Indian students give it in this intermediate phase when they are applying for the match. Okay. So, second career opportunity is to work in American job market. Third thing is you want to study further. Let's say you have done medicine, you want to further become a gastro specialist, oncologist, hematologist. So you choose to do fellowship program or super specializations, which are for a period of 1 to 3 years. So somebody wants to become a cardiologist, does a 3-year of cardiovascular disease fellowship. During residency, your annual stipend is anything between 35 to 40 lakh rupees minimum. During fellowship, your stipend is about 55 to 75 lakh rupees. Okay, so whatever money initially you have invested of 20 lakh, you are easily recovering it. In fact, in the next 6 years, you will be earning almost 10 times. Another thing is, if you, American system is very hard. You really need to work hard. Of course, anybody says it's easy, no. But if you are working hard, you've been persistent, you've been consistent. Let me tell you the average age. Let's say somebody does MBBS from India, PG from India, Super PG from India. Average age at which that person settles is not before 32 years. Why? Because a lot of time people get drop in NEET PG, NEET super specialization. There's now one more NEET which Indian government has announced. So people don't settle before the age of 32. But if students do smartly preparation of USMLE parallel to MBBS and then do PG and super PG in America, what we have found from the data of 10 years, that the average age at which students doing MBBS from India but PG from America settle at a 27-year age. So they are saving 5 years of their life. Now that's a big number for whatever social recommendation or social things which you want. All right. What is the difference between USMLE and USMLE complex exam? There is nothing as USMLE complex. USMLE is a separate exam. Complex is a separate exam. USMLE is for MBBS doctors. Complex is for osteopathic medical doctors. Okay. I hope that answers your question, Chandru. So don't worry about that complex. Complex is not for you at all. It is for American DO students. Okay, and there's nothing called as complex. Now, quickly, before I talk about the advantages of USMLE and all further process, one very important announcement I want to make. In India, there are 499 medical colleges, but not every medical college student is approved or applied in America. Okay, students from only 337 medical colleges in India can currently write the USMLE. In order to write the USMLE, your college needs to be certified by ECFMG and should be listed in World Directory. Unfortunately, there are 150 such colleges in India which are not listed. So please, if your college is not there in the World Directory or approved by ECFMG, contact the MOOCs team. They will let you know how you can get the registration done. Okay? So if your college is not registered, don't worry. IGMC Nagpur is very much recognized. Mridul Sharma, don't worry. Okay? In fact, I have alumni who are settled in America. So don't worry about that. Government College Nagpur, very much recognized. All right? But there are many new colleges, private as well as government, which have been started, before until 2015. Many of them have not been recognized. Okay? So if you are from any new medical colleges, make sure you approach your dean and get things started. Okay. Now coming to the most important, it's like the most important discussion is what are these USMLE exams. So in the history of examination, these are the longest given examination. Okay, longest examination. Rajat is asking Batumi Shota. No, it's not a recognized college. It's in Ukraine. There are some fake consultants who promise university. Unfortunately, college is not approved in USMLE. Okay. So we do not recommend what these fake consultants recommend. Sorry. Okay, let's focus back to USMLE now. There are a lot of parents, okay, especially after the announcement of next, but even otherwise, who are doctors, okay, parents of students who are doctors, they make their child prepare for USMLE, even if they don't want to send them to America. Why? Because every question of USMLE is a patient case. So if a student studies for USMLE, practices those 2,500, 3,000 questions, it is as good as he has seen these many patients. So we always tell our students, if you are getting into or jumping into the USMLE board from day one, even if you are a first year student, start thinking yourself as a doctor. Only thing which should be in your mind when you walk into your anatomy classroom, when you walk into your biochemistry classroom, when you walk into your labs, only one person you should be obsessed about is your patient. Whatever you are learning today, how can you heal a patient, treat a patient, diagnose a patient? If that is your approach, I am telling you, these are the easiest exams of all. Okay, whether it is next, whether it is USMLE, your approach has to be very, very clear. All right. Now coming to the different steps of USMLE. Perfect. Now let's come to the different steps of USMLE. But before we come, to those steps, I will request if you guys can open the USMLE brochure. Why? Because that will give you an idea why people are preparing for USMLE from the first year of med school. Okay. So let us see the different steps very clearly. As you can see on your screen, step 1 exam. Okay. Unlike the Indian exam where all the subjects are together, USMLE is divided, okay? The theory paper are divided into step 1 and step 2 CK. Step 1 exam, what are the subjects? Anat, biochem, physio, medical immunology, patho, pharma, physio, behavioral science. Now, these are the subjects which people study in first and second year. So you can prepare for USMLE from first year and appear in the first year. You can prepare for these subjects in final year and appear in internship year. Okay, this is something which you need to understand. Moreover, step 1 exam, 8-hour long exam. Step 2 CK, 9-hour long examination. 280 questions for step 1, 318 questions for step 2 CK. All right, these are block by block examination. What do I mean by a block? So you get a 1 hour time, and in 1 hour you get a block of 40 questions. In case of step 2 CK, 38 questions. So 60 minutes, 40 questions, and each question is a patient case. I always tell my student, what is step 1? Step 1 is nothing but a very, very busy day in a clinic where you are meeting 280 patients. That is the exam. How are you managing time? How are you managing your pressure? That is what it implies. Now, those who want to understand the actual format can give the mock examination. We have our step 1 mock examinations. You can contact our counselors and they will give you the mock test so that you can realize how the actual exam works. All right. So in short, step 1 is an online exam. CK is an online exam. Step 1 can be given in third year. CK can be given in internship year. CS is a practical exam. Until pre-COVID, it was happening in person in 5 centers in America. Post-COVID, they have currently suspended the exam. They might come up with a new format. We don't know what's the format. So right now, I don't want to comment anything. But the reality is currently they have suspended the examination. Step 3 again is an online exam, but like step 1 which can be given in India, CK which can be given in India, step 3 cannot be given in India. It happens in America only. Okay, it happens in America only. I heard that internship should not be done in India to take USMLE. Is that correct? Absolutely incorrect information. I don't know who have told you that, Varsha. Okay, now step 1 examination can be given in any country abroad, including India. Okay, and when are these exams conducted? Every day throughout the year, Monday to Friday. Whenever you are ready, you can appear the exam. So it is very important that you prepare well for USMLE because these are expensive exams. Step 1, $1,100. CK, $1,100. Step 3, $690. So almost 80,000 rupees, and then here it is about, lakh of a rupee for step 2 CS, which is currently suspended. So these are two very expensive exams to fail. Okay. Moreover, the scoring system is different. Unlike Indian exam, one right answer does not give you 1 mark. This is a scale between 140 to 180, in which passing is 194 for step 1, 209 for CK, okay, and 196 for step 3. But the target score is 240. So if you attempt and if you just pass, it's not going to help you. Remember this very, very clearly. Your target has to be 240. So you need to prepare well because you only have 1 attempt and scores get locked for 7 years. Now many of you are jumping the boat. Step 1 is becoming pass and a fail from 2022. Absolutely yes. Okay, does that mean that step 1 will become easy? No. It is anticipated that the current pass rate of step 1, which is more than 80%, might go down, or the passing marks which might come up. What is happening after 2022? ECFMG board, USMLE board will not release your 3-digit marks of step 1. Nothing else is changing. So don't live in a dream world. Step 1 is becoming hard or step 1 is becoming easy. Okay, moreover, you still require your 240 for step 2 CK, good marks in step 3 as well. And you need to pass all the exam in first attempt. This goes without saying. So do not loosen your gear. Do not get into a sweat mode. Oh, now it's impossible. No, nothing has changed. The approach has changed. The scenario has changed. Do you have limited attempts for USMLE? Absolutely yes. So if somebody fails the exam, there are only 3 more attempts. First attempt when you appear and plus 3. So total 4 attempts. But let me tell you my experience of 10 years. If you fail and you have an attempt, your chances to get admission decrease by 40%. If you fail twice, your chances decrease by 80%. So at Moksha, we don't talk about being fail. We have our platform technology where all students do is keep on practicing. They do not appear the exam until they are confident. So our idea is very simple. You keep on practicing, you get in touch with the students, you get your mentors, but do not appear this exam until in your mock exams you are hitting a score of 240. So we don't talk about failing, not at all. It is not like Indian exam. Let me try NEET once. Our first attempt is always a trial attempt and then see how it works. Don't do that with USMLE. Take your USMLE serious. It's a career decision. People at a very high age, at the age of 40, 50 from top-notch hospitals also preparing for USMLE. So understand the importance of these examinations. All right. This chance in your life, in your career. Okay, 20 years from now, you'll wonder, I should have taken a chance. Now, why are we saying 240? Because we know what admission will you get. Anybody scoring less than 220, almost you will not get anything. You know, your career chances for America reduces. Okay. If you get anything about 220 to 240, you can get into family medicine, psychiatry, pediatrics, pathology. Okay. 240 plus, then you get into anesthesiology, radiology, surgery, radiology, oncology. All right. So basically, 240 plus is required for surgical fields. That is a bare minimum requirement. All right. So that is why we say that 240 plus safely you can get into a specialization. Now 2020, those who got admission, okay, their average step 1 score was 234 and step CK score was 239. What does that mean? People less than 234 also got admission. People more than 234 also got admission. Average was this score. So you need to target to get above average so that you are on a safe zone and you can focus on other factors of the profile. I hope it's making sense. The process is long, journey is long, but it is important. It is important that you understand things properly. Okay. Now let's talk about residency application timeline. Okay, it is very important for all of you to understand this. So whether you are a graduate or a student, what should be your target? Prepare and appear for step 1. Prepare and appear for step 1 in third year if you're a student. CK, CS, and internship. And once you are a graduate, once you are completing your med school, that's when you start applying for residency. Usually this is 5 to 6 years if you do it parallel to school. If you decide to do after graduation, it is 1 year CKCS and rotations. All right. Once you are ready with everything, your application every year starts in the month of September. It's an online application, all right, and you can apply to multiple, hospitals online electronically. Okay? Once you make application in the month of September, November to January are when the interviews happen. Okay, all these years it was physical interview. Due to COVID, this year it is online. Once you interview in the month of February, the rank order happens, and in the month of March the matching happens, and finally you join the program in the month of July. That is how it works. In spite of COVID, admission process is going on. Even last year, people who got admission in March have joined their residency program. Special flights were organized so that Indian students can join the program in the month of July. So June, people flew there, completed their quarantine, and July they started their PG. That much of demand it is. Okay, so if you see the residency process, it's a minimum 1 year after graduation, even if you start from first second year. All right, so but if you start after graduation, it's 3 years. It's always better to start early. Okay, at Moksha we help you with exam preparation, CV, profile building, applications, interviews, in the entire journey. Okay, anybody has any questions, feel free to ask. What are the advantages of being an American citizen? Varshita, no advantages. I will show you with the data this year. American citizen who got admission, 61% of them got admission. International student visa admission was 61%. That's it. No difference whatsoever. Only difference is if you want admission in family medicine, which is like a GP kind of a profile in America, or you want admission in psychiatry, or you want admission in emergency medicine. That's it. These three fields were there where few more green card holders got admission, but overall ratio, if we see for medicine, for surgery, if one green card holder has got admission, against that two students who wanted visa got admission. Twice the people who wanted visa got admission. I hope that answers your question. The profile still need to have everything. Now, the process looks complicated. The project looks longer, but why do you think people more doctors are working and preparing for USMLE? Okay, logic is very simple. COVID came now, but even otherwise, there is so much of shortage in the American healthcare system. Okay, in India, you can just work after MBBS. Now, announcement of next, people might have to give next. That's it. But you can start working in the job market. In America, until and unless you complete PG, you are not allowed to work, which is why there is so much demand of doctors to do PG in America. Okay. Moreover, there is a seat parity. In India, we have more MBBS seat, less PG seat. In America, PG seats are more and MBBS seats are less. So they have more PG seat, less MBBS seat, and which is why the demand. Okay, so it is exactly the opposite of what the Indian system is. I hope now you realize why more and more Indian students are preparing for USMLE. Moreover, after graduation, the kind of salaries, start salary starts with 1.5 crores. Even if you are in internal medicine or family medicine or a pediatrician, and as you grow up the ladder, you become a psychiatrist, nephrologist, pathologist, salaries keep on increasing with maximum salaries offered to plastic surgeon, orthopedics, cardiologist, gastro, and reo professionals. Now, a lot of time people, spread a lot of rumors, and let me tell you, rumors are spread by people who are not successful in life. They don't want to, get ahead in life and pull others down. It is like the story of Spanish and crab. That they themselves don't want to grow, they'll not let others also grow. So, a lot of time people spread rumors. One such rumor was spread when Donald Trump first came into power. That Trump has come into the power, now USMLE is over, no one will get admission. Reality is exactly opposite. 20 was the peak of his power. Number of international student admission is highest. In fact, every year that Trump was in power, number of international students getting admission kept on increasing. People, confuse this with rumors of H-1B visa for IT doctors, IT students. IT is a different problem, but not for doctors. Doctors have no problem because there's a shortage of doctors in America. So don't fall prey to any rumors. Okay. I will prove that also. Anurit and a lot of other students who are saying what about surgery, IMGs, ऐसा नहीं है कि IMGs को नहीं मिलता, but it is competitive. I will show you with the data. There are 10,000 seats for medicine and 2,000 seats for surgery, and which is why the seats are less. Okay, it is not that you IMGs don't get it. That is, it is not like Canada where there is a quota. There are only 4 seats for surgery. You beyond that you cannot apply. Australia quota. UK impossible. But in US I cannot say impossible because people are getting admission, and I'll show you with the data. But ultimately what matters is your all-round CV. So at Moksha we prepare you from day one so that you are ready with your target, which is step 1 CK 240, CS passing in first attempt, all exams passing in first attempt, and you work on your CV, which includes US clinical experience, letter of recommendation, medical school performance, your specialty focus work. So if you're interested in medicine, then whatever CMEs you do, conferences you do, you volunteer work which you do with your PSM department, extracurricular work, research, language. In fact, at Moksha, all the students are currently preparing also for Spanish language. Because if you know Spanish, it actually really helps you in this entire USMLE journey. And finally, the interviews. We are helping you at end-to-end solution throughout this entire journey of USMLE. Okay, so we will be helping you completely from start to end. Okay, but the reality is you need to understand very important statistics. Total number of students in India preparing for USMLE is huge, but why only 1094 people got admission last year? Why do you think this happened? Because they are not understanding the right way, right people to be associated with. Okay, it is very important that you understand these things. Okay, just because you just copy paste and do things, it does not work out. You need to plan things and plan things very much in detail. Okay, it is very important that you understand when you start. Unfortunately, lot of your peers, you follow your senior is unsuccessful, you are unsuccessful. That should not be the strategy. The strategy to succeed in USMLE is to start early, especially all the students who are 2017 batch onwards. Guys, you have a next exam coming for you compulsory. So the smart way to ensure that you are passing this exam, which is loaded with competency-based curriculum, which is clinical in nature, and without passing that exam, you will not even get degree, is to ensure that you think about next exam from first year. So there are 2 ways to approach your career now. Either you start preparation of next from the first year, or the second or a smarter category of student is they start preparation for USMLE from the first year, appear that in third year, step 1, so that the concepts are stronger, and then they move to the final year to give the next exam, and after that in the internship continue the USMLE journey. So you need to plan things well. It is all about planning. Just because your senior is unsuccessful, you cannot be unsuccessful. Just because your senior got admission by luck, you cannot just follow and copy that. You need to make your own path. What works for you might not work for your peer, not work for your junior, not work for your senior. So plan things very much in advance. Okay? Lot of time people refer to these WhatsApp groups. Unfortunately, I always say in WhatsApp, out of only 256, only 1 person succeeds. Okay, so do not over rely on WhatsApp. Do not rely on these Hyderabad Pune courses. People every time tell 2020 is a new book, 2021 is a new book. Every time they add only 1-2 lines and they say new book. They give you course only for 4 and 6 months. If you ask extra time, they'll ask you money, another 1 lakh, another 1 lakh. No, absolutely no service after you get admission. After 4 months, they forget you. At Moksha, we have unlimited validity program, because we know USMLE is not a matter of 4 months, 7 months, 9 months. No, you require a support right up to match. So a lot of times the choices are very important because we have designed the program keeping these in mind. Okay, the entire program is designed with unlimited validity, with ensuring that support is there, study group is there, MCQ solving happens, guest lectures happen, every support is there. Okay, and that is what we ensure. We have our competency based platform, which contains a weakness identifier, artificial intelligence, text analytics, active learning, doubt solving, unlimited validity support, and which is why close to about 3,500 students globally are preparing on our platform. Now, many of you are asking about the entire cost in USMLE process. So this is your expenditure. This is the split of expenditure. You are spending close to about $5,000 for your USMLE examinations. You're spending around electives and observerships around $3,000 to $6,000, depending on the number and the place. Living expenditure in America during electives is about $2,000 to $3,000. Your residency application is around $5,000. Your interviews are around $5,000 to $6,000, and your other expenditure, before admission, like travel, tickets, visa, is around $5,000. So around $25,000 to $30,000 is your expenditure, right? Of course, then you have your prep, counseling, unpaid research position, extra rotations. So that's why I said Indian rupees, if you convert, it's around 20-25 lakhs is what you are going to spend. All right. Now, which is why it is important that you take your decision properly. Okay. And of course, many of you feel that, okay, there is a state of confusion. No problem. We are there to further support you. So if you feel I have understood, but I still have some doubts, please ask right now, or else people want to schedule a personal counseling session with the parents, do that. So what are my next steps? So I can schedule a personal counseling session with a MOOCs expert. I can attend the MOOCs live lecture. I can get access to the MOOCs USMLE free trial login, or I can appear for a USMLE step 1 mock test. So whatever is your choice, you could do, not a problem whatsoever. But yes, get a complete clarity. Okay, of course, any further questions, feel free to ask and get a complete clarity. Okay, so at any point of time, any questions are there, please let me know. Okay, at any point of time. Perfect. So now let us quickly take up questions. Can we join program without doing any research or working in American hospital? Monica, research may be optional, but without doing clinical experience, getting admission in America is very, very difficult. Let me be really real about that. Research can be optional, but clinical rotations, no. When should be preparing for USMLE? Shruti, I told you, as early as first year of med school. Okay, as early as first year. Please understand, don't consider medical school as a separate project. Why have you enrolled in a medical school? To become a doctor. Why should you prepare for USMLE? To become a good doctor. Your good clinical diagnostic skills are developed. That is exactly the difference. What do you mean by who certified? Omkar Jadhav seems to be in some different world. What do you mean by WHO certified? Omkar, what do you want? First of all, WHO is no longer involved in any certification. For your information, Omkar Jadhav. Okay, WHO, World Health Organization, does have nothing to do with USMLE. So I don't know what have been your understanding. I am in internship. Am I late? No, Anupreet. For intern students, we have a fast track batch. Now that fast track also is around 1 year minimum for step 1. Okay, but as I told you, if you want a personal counseling session to understand timeline, we can do that. Okay. Interesting question has come. What is the difference between electives, clerkships, and observership? By Harshaman. Let me tell you. So Harshaman, all of them are types of US clinical experience. Now, US clinical experience are of two types. One is hands-on, which is going to be of demand, which is going to be of value. And second is shadow posting. Shadow posting means you are just observing things, you are not allowed to touch a patient. So what are the hands-on clinical experience? If you are a student, Harshaman, Then what you get is hands-on. They are called as clinical electives, okay, which all the universities offer, which may or may not involve fees, okay, as a student. If you are a graduate, then what you get into the universities is called as observership posting. Observership are a shadow posting. They are not much of a value because you are not allowed to touch a patient. That's why we say be a student and ensure you get electives. Now, those who are a graduate and still expecting some hands-on, very few states in America allow you, and those are called as clerkship rotations. Okay, very few states allow you to do clerkships. Okay, clerkships is for graduates, but not all states allow you to do rotations as a graduate. So it is very selective. And Harshaman, if you want to know more about the clinical experience and process, Moksha Academy YouTube channel you should subscribe. You will get lots and lots of detailed videos and information on this channel. Is the USMLE approach same as Next? Absolutely yes, because both are competency-based curriculum. If you know USMLE, Next will be much easier. I am going to be done with my third year of MBBS in another 1 month. I still haven't got any time to think about USMLE. How Tico, first of all, if you are entering final year, I will recommend you not to consider USMLE at this point of time. Final year of medical school is not the right time to do anything, but only focus on medical school. Once you come into internship year, you can start with step one and take your journey forward. But please, it's to each and everyone in the audience, those who are in a final year, please, this is a career foundation of your entire, you will get degree only if you pass final year. So do not do anything. If you are in first year, start USMLE, second year, start USMLE, third year, start USMLE. But if you are entering final year, just hold on for USMLE for at least not less 1 year. Once you start internship, go ahead and do it. If you are just in third year, immediately start. If you have 1 year from now, for you being in third year, immediately start. Contact the Moksha counselors and they will let you know how you can prepare. Okay, question about how many people get admissions. Shreyas, regarding fees, you can contact our counselors. Questions about how many people are getting admissions in America, let me quickly show you. Does it matter how long you extend internship? No, not at all, Amol. Don't worry. That is what I tell people. People get scared to extend internships. I have got students who have extended for 2 years. It absolutely doesn't matter. So don't worry, Amol. Okay, it does not matter. But what matters is clinical rotations. If you don't have clinical rotation, that will be of no use. Yeah, so I will answer that. I have questions regarding how many people got admission in surgery. We will just discuss that. I will show you the official match data so that the things are very clear for each one of you. So this is the NRMP body releases every year how many people got admission. Unlike the Canadian system, Australian system where there is a quota, in America there is nothing called as quota. You will know that if they don't find deserving, whether you're an American citizen or a green card holder, the seats go unfilled. Why? Because government pays you salary. So it does not matter. It is not like India, you have full seats. Okay, it doesn't work like that. So as you can see, anesthesiology 1370 seats, 58 green card admission, 78 non-green card. Internal medicine 8,700 seats, 1123, and double non-green card holder got admission. 373 seats were vacant this year. They didn't find the deserving American doctor. They didn't find a deserving green card holder. They didn't find deserving IMG. I hope now you can understand. It is not about Indian process admission. That's why CV and profile and everything is very important. Next, neurology 50 green card holder, 182 non-green card holder admission. OBGY 14 for 58 green card holders, 36 non-green card holders got admission. Pathology 600 seats, 54 non-green card holders, 54 green card holders and 232 non-green card holders got admission. Pediatrics 2864 seats, 222 green card holders, 340 non-green card holders got admission. So it is not that people don't get into admissions. Psychiatry 58 seats, 54 green card holders, 29 non-green card holders admission. And coming to surgery, people were saying IMGs don't get into. Can you see this surgery 5-year program? 98 green card holders, 80 non-green card holders. And the first year, a lot of programs in America require a 1-year requirement. So 1 year, surgery program, 82 green card holders and 160 non-green card. So almost 240 IMGs without visa and 190 green card holders have got admission. So people who are saying that people don't get into it, that's incorrect. In fact, you can see 591 seats were vacant preliminary. Okay, but yes, because in medicine there are 8,000 seats, surgery there are 2,000 seats. So of course it is competitive. For every 10 students getting into medicine, you will find 1 student getting into surgery. Now that is the reality in India also, right? India also, if you look for top-notch specialty, of course it is very competitive. So I hope that answers your question. A lot of you were asking about specialization. You need to give USMLE to get into PG, irrespective of the specialization. Irrespective of the specialization. Okay, if your question is regarding electives, so during electives, 50% of universities want and 50% don't want. Okay, so it depends on the this thing. So that's not a question. Great. So any questions anybody has, feel free to ask. If I do my PhD in India and go to America, do I have to please? Absolutely yes. First of all, the Indian PG degree is not recognized in America. So if you want to settle in America, you will have to repeat the PG. Second thing, if you do India say PG, you want to do fellowships in America, you will have to give the USMLE steps. That is why it is important to prepare for USMLE now itself. Because when otherwise you will have to give it. So there is no way you are escaping USMLE. Okay? There is no way you are escaping USMLE. USMLE will have to be given today or tomorrow. And I told you, they also are preparing for USMLE at the age of 35 or 45. It is very simple. They all want to have a great career and a great future. And anything in America, you cannot do without clearing the USMLE. Don't you think it is good to give USMLE at the age of 20 rather than age of 40? And that is why, because once you are ECFMG certified, you have passed all the exams, your ECFMG certification is valid for lifetime. Okay? So that is the biggest advantage you have. Thank you. I wish you all the very best.